Attention passionate Seattle Seahawks fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC West and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Seattle Seahawks' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Seattle Seahawks fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Seattle SEAHAWKS fans. Let's get to the news. The NFL rumor mill is buzzing with some serious talk about a potential blockbuster trade involving one of the league's most dynamic safeties, Jessie Bates, III. It's not every day we see a player of his caliber potentially changing teams mid-season, but the whispers in the league suggest that the Seattle Seahawks might be in the mix. And honestly, it's the kind of move that could really shake up the NFC West standings. Now, before we dive into all the details, let's set the scene. The Seahawks are sitting at 8-7, fighting for playoff positioning, and they've got a secondary that's been, well, a bit banged up lately. With Bryant and Woolen both nursing injuries that could keep them out for about 4 weeks, the Seahawks are looking for ways to shore up that back end, especially against some of the best passing offenses in the league. Meanwhile, on the other side, we have the Falcons, sitting at 7-8 and still trying to figure out their identity after a roller coaster season. Their secondary has been allowing over 220 yards passing per game, a number that's just not going to cut it when you're trying to hang tough in a division that features teams like the Saints and Buccaneers. Atlanta is also facing some cap constraints, with around $23 million allocated to their defensive line, which has led them to consider some bold moves, including trading away some assets to rebuild after a season marred by injuries. And one name that's been popping up in discussions is Jessie Bates, III, a safety who's been making waves with his playmaking skills. Bates has been a turnover machine for the Falcons. In 2025, he's already logged 49 solo tackles, 3 interceptions, 1 forced fumble, and has an impressive PFF grade of 88. 7. His ability to generate turnovers, particularly with those interceptions, is off the charts, and he's proven to be a key piece in Atlanta's defense. His stats alone make him a highly sought-after player, especially for a team like the Seahawks, who are always looking to add playmakers on defense. His tackle win percentage is around 90%, which speaks volumes about his consistency and ability to execute. But it's not just about the stats, it's about what he brings to the field in terms of leadership and presence. Now, imagine what a player like Bates could do for the Seahawks. We already know that Seattle's secondary has been a work in progress, especially with Woolen and Bryant battling injuries. Bates, with his knack for creating turnovers and locking down receivers, could be a real difference maker. His career numbers include 12 interceptions and over 250 tackles, and even with an injury ankle in Week 4 of 2025 that kept him out for 1 game, he's been a force when healthy. His recent performances have been so impactful that some compare him to the type of trade that boosted the Steelers back in 2019 when they acquired Minkah Fitzpatrick. That move transformed their defense, giving them a huge boost in turnovers and overall performance, and many believe Bates could do the same for Seattle. The Falcons, however, are reportedly skeptical about letting Bates go. They know his value, and they're aware that losing him could lead to a 15% drop in their pass coverage stats, which is a pretty significant hit. Plus, the NFC South remains somewhat uncertain, especially with the Saints showing improvement, so Atlanta might hold on to him if they think they can turn things around with the players they've got. Still, the possibility of a trade is real, especially if the Falcons decide to accelerate their rebuild and focus on cap space and future picks. From the Seahawks' perspective, adding Bates would be a game changer. Experts project that he could bring an additional 5 interceptions per year to Seattle's defense, which already has shown signs of growth with Woolen and Bryant in the fold. His presence could lead to a reduction in passing yards allowed from around 215 yards per game down to approximately 180 yards, a significant improvement that would make opposing QBs think twice before targeting the secondary. Additionally, Bates' ability to improve tackles in open field by about 19% could help Seattle become more aggressive and effective in stopping big plays. What's particularly exciting for Seahawks fans is the potential leadership he could bring to a secondary that's been rattled by injuries. Seattle's secondary, currently ranked 27th in the league with only 9 interceptions, needs a boost, and Bates' knack for forcing turnovers could elevate the entire unit. His presence on the field would also benefit the entire defense by improving field position. An extra 7 yards per start could make a real difference in close games, especially as the Seahawks push for a playoff spot. Looking at the bigger picture, the odds of Bates making an immediate impact are quite favorable. Some projections suggest that with Bates on the roster, Seattle's odds of winning the Super Bowl could improve from plus 2,500 to around plus 900. A significant jump that shows how much faith the betting markets have in his ability to be a difference maker in high-stakes situations. The potential for Bates to be an X-factor in the playoffs, especially against top-tier quarterbacks, is high. His history of forcing turnovers, including 2 defensive touchdowns in recent seasons, makes him a player teams can count on when the chips are down. It's precisely this kind of player that the Seahawks need if they want to go all the way. Of course, nothing is guaranteed until the trade officially happens, and the Falcons are known for being cautious with their assets. The deadline is fast approaching, set for November 4th, and teams are feeling the pressure to make moves that will define their seasons. For Seattle, making this move could symbolize their commitment to contending now and building a defense that can take on anyone in the playoffs. With the right additions, the Seahawks could not only solidify their playoff spot, but also position themselves as serious contenders for a deep postseason run. And it's not just about the numbers, it's about the mindset. Seattle's defense has been steadily improving, but they still need that extra spark. A player like Bates could be the catalyst that elevates the entire unit, providing both skill and leadership when it matters most. Imagine a secondary with Woolen, Bryant, and Bates all working in concert. It's a scary thought for offenses trying to move the ball. The Seahawks have been building a team that's competitive and hungry, and this kind of upgrade could be the final piece to their puzzle. So fans, keep an eye on this situation. If the trade goes through, it could flip the script for Seattle's playoff aspirations. We're talking about a player who's in his prime, eager to make a splash and help his new team chase that Super Bowl dream. The Seahawks have shown they're willing to make bold moves, and this could very well be one of the most impactful of the season. Whether or not it happens, it's an exciting time for Seahawks Nation, full of hope and anticipation. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YOUTUBE algorithm to keep recommending the latest Seattle Seahawks news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. Now looking ahead, the potential deal for Jesse Bates III isn't just about filling a need. It's about making a statement. The Seahawks are clearly looking to take that next step, and acquiring a proven playmaker like Bates would send a message to the entire league. Seattle is serious about contending this year. The division is tough, no doubt about it, but with the right moves, Seattle can position itself as the team to beat. The NFC West has been a battleground for years, but if the Seahawks land Bates, they could gain a crucial edge that might push them over the top. Ultimately, whether this trade materializes or not, it's a reminder of how dynamic and unpredictable the NFL can be. The league is always in flux, and teams are constantly adjusting their rosters to maximize their chances. For Seahawks fans, this is an exciting time. The possibility of upgrading the secondary with a player like Bates is a rare opportunity that could define their team's trajectory for years to come. It's about building a defense that's aggressive, smart, and capable of forcing turnovers. Exactly the kind of unit that can carry a team deep into the playoffs and beyond. As we stay tuned for updates, one thing is clear. Seattle is not backing down. They're hungry, they're ambitious, and they're ready to make bold moves to chase that elusive Super Bowl title. So keep your eyes peeled, stay loud, and let's hope that this rumor turns into reality, because if it does, Seahawks fans, your team will be better for it. The journey continues, and with players like Bates potentially joining the fold, the Seahawks' future looks brighter than ever. And now, Seattle Seahawks fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Seahawks. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Seattle Seahawks news.